Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time! Day 3 of the Cutting Edge Conference. Welcome to day 3. Thank you all so very much for being here. I promise it will not disappoint. I don't know about you, but if you haven't come here amped up and ready to go here on a Saturday morning, I've been up since 4 a.m., sipping on energy drinks, walking on the treadmill, getting ready for today. Can't wait. And if you're not in the house for that reason, I don't know what you're doing on a Saturday morning. So very much looking forward to today. Please, in the chat, I cannot, it's live, so I'm not going to be in the chat right now. But please introduce yourself. Tell me how many grams of caffeine you've been sipping on this morning getting ready for Cutting Edge Conference. Now, we must do a quick recap. Why did Cutting Edge Conference get born? Because people are still joining here. So let's go ahead and just talk about this really fast. And then we're going to go right into the keynote. All right. Now, thank you everyone for introducing yourself, telling us where you're from. We got people from all over the world. We have people down under in the old Australia. We got people up into Canada. Hey, dog. Very good. We have people all across the United States. And this week we have had up to 1,000 people registered for the webinars day 1. But then some people fell off the bandwagon. And so we had less than 500 yesterday. But today we did hit the 250 marker for registration, which was the cap for day 3. So welcome to everybody. Currently almost have 200 people in the house. So thank you all for being here. You might be seeing this on YouTube or Facebook. I'm not including you because you didn't register at mikeandys.com/day3. Now, I'll warn you right now. I will warn you right now. You want to register and hop into the actual webinar if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, etc. You need to register, all right? mikeandys.com/day3. You need to be in the webinar and in the house. We got Texas in the house. We got Coeur d'Alene in the house. We got Cincinnati in the house. We got Antonio with a half pot of coffee and coming from Chicago. I was in Chicago last week. My flight got canceled, delayed 4 times overnight. So not necessarily super excited about Chicago. However, Ezra's in the house saying, gentlemen, start your engines. That's live from Bugfest. And I'm not about to try to do what Parker did. That was pretty intense. Okay, who else we got in the house? We got people from Bruce Buffer. Welcome. We got Brad Bear. We got Justin. You need more caffeine than whatever you got. Okay, we got to step it up. Okay. All right, so thank you everyone for showing up. We got Utah, we got Kansas, we got Milwaukee, we got Tucson. Okay, we're going to stop that. I'm going to turn off comments, and we're going to jump into some content. All right, at the end of today, we will do Q&A. However, let's go ahead and recap why Cutting Edge Conference was born. Cutting Edge Conference. Oh, wait. Sorry, Mr. Tucson, Arizona. You're not getting prime time for the entire time. There we go. All right. Cutting Edge Conference was born because a couple weeks ago, I was signed up for another conference called Service Edge Conference, also known as CEC. So we can do better than that. So we said, you know what? We're going to do Cutting Edge Conference. Why? Because I signed up for this conference, bless their heart. And I did that because the specific software that puts on this event does not do a very good job of communicating with their members. They haven't for many years. So I go to their conference so I can actually learn how to use their software. Why? Because dozens, if not 100 plus, of the owners at Augusta Nation use their software. So I feel it is my duty to make sure I know where the software is going, meet the leadership team, understand where the product is going. However, they canceled my ticket. That does not make me happy. You can take away my freedom. You cannot take away my freedoms. That's not allowed. You can do whatever you want. You can mess up my product. You can make me unhappy. You can sue me. And they've tried to do that too. But you can't take away my freedoms of coming to your conference because I'm a paying member, one of the biggest of them. So what are we going to do? We're going to put on a better conference. And that's been the Cutting Edge Conference. And in my opinion, the value per dollar for Cutting Edge Conference has been unparalleled. Absolutely unmatched. Why? Because it's been free. All right. It's online. Thank you all so very much for being here. And yes, I want to put it in the face of those people that blocked me and say, I have more people at my conference for free than the people flew all the way across the country to be at yours. So thank you very much for being here. Let's stick it to them and let's get started because today, regardless of whether or not you really care about SEC or CEC, wait, the SEC is in football. Okay, maybe you care about the SEC, but not Service Edge Conference. Boo! Boo! Okay, very good. Fantastic. We've established that fact. Now, let's talk about Cutting Edge Conference and what we've learned so far. Now, at the end of this keynote, I'm going to be giving a bonus away more than my house payment. And that over there is my first house, right over there, all right? I bought it for $95,000. I think I remodeled it, spent another $200,000 on it. Added that little, it's called an ADU, accessory dwelling unit, on the top of that their garage. It's a one-car garage. House was originally built in 1911. Blew my mind. Like the fact that the 2x4s were not all the same size, and the fact that like the whole foundation was like sitting on blocks of wood and concrete. Wowzers, trousers. I got into a little bit too deep on my first deal. However, we remodeled that baby. It looks pretty. That's it right there. And it's in Blaine, Washington. And my house payment on that used to be $1,050, but because of inflation and insurance and property taxes, it's now $1,200. So at the end of this keynote, I'm going to be giving a bonus away that's worth more than that house payment. Now, it is limited to 250 people because I don't want to go broke. And no one's ever done what I'm about to do at the end of today's keynote. Not a single person has ever tried this. And I'm not about to try to give this away to more than 250 people because I would go broke. So we're not going to do that. But you definitely want to stick around to the end of the keynote. And if you're wondering, have you had a lot of caffeine this morning? I absolutely have had at least 50 milligrams. I don't have a lot of caffeine typically. So we're fired up. All right. We're going to have a Q&A at the end as well. So if you have questions from day 1 or day 2 of Cutting Edge Conference or day 3 coming up, write them down. Today, you will definitely want to take notes. Okay. Now let's do a quick recap of Cutting Edge Conference 2023, the inaugural event. All right. Day 1, how to double your revenue with $0 of ad spend. We talked about how to extract more value from your existing customers without spending a bunch of money and without entering the profit shredder, also known as Facebook and Google ads, because I've seen too many people waste so much money in that place. It's abhorrent. So what do? We created at Copilot a feature called Upsells, where you can upsell your existing customer base into more revenue. And it's good stuff. So that was day 1. It was fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. You missed out. Number 2, this is yesterday, day 2. We talked to Mike Callahan from Simple Growth about how to never lose your shirt on a project. How? Job costing and price matrices. Also introduced at Copilot CRM. All right, let's go. And that feature is going to be launched December 1st to the public. And it's going to be launched next week to the beta group inside of Copilot. So very much looking forward to adding that feature also in Copilot CRM. Now, day 3 today, how to 10x your business using irresistible offers. And it's going to be fantastic. Now, what we're going to be launching at the very end of today's keynote is undisclosed. So you got to stick around to the end because it's gonna blow your mind. And no one else has ever done this. And I am a little bit nervous in doing it. So without any further delay, let's get started. Oh, by the way, just a little FYI, that picture right there is from our very brand new, I don't know if that's proper English, but let's stick with it. Very brand new website from copilotcrm.com. You might want to check it out. It's really cool. There's some really cool stuff in there. Now, how this presentation over the next, let's give ourselves 35 minutes. We're going to be speaking about how you in your business can do 2 things. Number 1, break mental frames that have been causing stagnated growth in your home service business. Number 2, I'm going to give you the exact recipe for creating ads that will bring in exactly 3 times as many more leads. I'm very much looking forward to being able to share this with you. And these are really 2 keynotes that I'm smashing together. I was originally thinking about making this a 4-day event, but who's got time for 4 days events? We're doing day 3. We're just going to do a little double, razzle dazzle. We're going to do an offer that's going to blow people's mind at the end. We're going to release an offer and a bonus that is going to literally potentially make me broke. What else could we ask for in day 3 here on Saturday of Cutting Edge Conference? All right. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And that is how you're going to make money in this presentation. Let's first talk about how you can break your mental frames that are causing stagnated growth. Because no one wants to stay stagnated growth. Why in the world I don't wake up on Saturday mornings at 4 a.m. to talk about how to keep my business the same size and keep it making it the same amount of money in terms of profit. I'm not interested in doing that. So that's what we're going to talk about first. Number one, these questions that I have asked have served me very well. I'm going to share what these questions are, and there's a whole list of them. There's a whole bunch of them. I'm going to share about 5 or 6 questions that have served me very well. And at Augusta Lawn Care, in our masterminds every morning, we call these mental workouts. These mental workouts are simply ways of being able to put our brain in a gym. Because what you do when you go to a gym, it's not like it's a life or death situation to be able to lift 250 pounds. Not life and death situation. However, you go to the gym to lift the 250 pounds. So when you go home and pick up your 10-pound child, you can do it. And it's easy. So you go to the gym. Oh man, that gentleman, let's go thing at the beginning could potentially have put my voice in jeopardy for the next couple hours. All right. But you go to the gym, you exceed the amount, your threshold of weight and exertion so that in your daily living, you actually can live a functional life. You can pick up children. When you're 75 years old, you can pick up your grandchildren. When you are needing to run to the bus stop, you don't have a heart attack because you did it in the gym and you're able, like running outside also qualifies, all right? Any sort of physical exertion. But ultimately, the workout is required mentally in order to be able to then get into your business, and do these activities, all right? So in Augusta Nation, we call these mental workouts. So we're mental workout number 1. If I had to, how would I grow my revenue by 10x? Not 10%, 10x, baby. All right. If you had to multiply current revenue by 10 times, what would you have to do? So if you're doing $1 million in annual revenue right now, what would you have to do to go to 10 million? The reason you take it to extremes is it really breaks your frame and immediately you start getting these ideas. And everyone's like going to question me at the end of the day, like, how'd you get that idea? That was kind of cool. Or they ask me a lot of times, like, how'd you get that idea? A lot of times it's me when I'm exercising. I will be thinking about breaking all of my frames. How am I thinking about this problem, this situation in the business, and how do I break the frame? The best way to break the frame is move it to an extreme. And so in this example, instead of saying, how can I grow my business by 10 or 15%, which might be the actual objective, but if you're blanking on how to grow it by 10 or 15%, there's a really good chance that if I had to grow it by 1,000%, i.e. 10 times bigger, what would I do? Because if you can actually come up with something different by breaking that frame, all of a sudden 10 to 15% becomes very achievable. Now, some of these things that you might have to do to grow your business by 10 times is you got to hire new people. You got to add more services. You might have to go into a different industry. You might need to have more locations or hire general management. Have hierarchy inside the business. Go get someone that can really crush it in an area that you're weak in. That might be what is required to get you to 10x. It's also probably what is going to be required to break you out of your current plateau in revenue. So if you're like, I don't want to grow by 10x, that's fine. But if you want to grow by 20% or 25% and you haven't been doing that and you've been plateaued in growth, it's a really good mental exercise, i.e. go lift 250 pounds so you can go home and lift up your child who is 5 or 10 pounds, all right? So the mental exercise of how do I grow my business by 10 times is very helpful if you've been plateauing in your growth of your business in order to be able to actually grow up by 10, 15, 20% and break out of stagnated growth. Because nobody has time for that. All right. Now, another mental workout is if I was going to build this business for the next 100 years, what would I do? This helped me tremendously in my own businesses of Copilot and Augusta Lawn Care. Because if I'm going to build this business over the course of the next 100 years, I will change my decision-making process. So if you're in a rush to build this business the next year or two, you will make very different decisions in comparison to saying, I'm going to grow this business over the next 100 years, the next century, I'm going to be growing this business. I promise you, the decisions you make in the business will be much more long-term focused. You'll think about your team much more often. You'll think about the mission of the business. You'll think about the trickle-down effects of the decisions making your process you're making, because otherwise, thinking in terms of 12 or 24 months, you might take shortcuts. You might make decisions that in the short term grow revenue and in the long term hurt your business. So there's another mental frame that I've found to be very helpful. Again, the 250 pounds. You're not going to ever be able to run your business for 100 years. Okay. It's the same reason as to why it's not super useful that I went to the gym the other day and benched 240 pounds. And yes, it was my personal record. Thank you very much. let's just take a moment to acknowledge 240 pounds is my record. It's not fantastic for a short guy that can barely get 5'4". 240 pounds is pretty fantastic, all right? And that was without someone spotting me. I think I could go a little bit more if someone was spotting me, but my wrist kind of acts up, and that's why I haven't lifted heavy for a very long time. So thank you very much. Not only do we do mental workouts here at Augusta Nation, we also do physical workouts. We do 75 hard. So when it comes to mental workouts, this one's helped me out a lot. And that is, if I actually was to grow this business over the next 100 years, what would I do with this decision? How would I grow the business if I had to do it for the next 100 years? Not 5, not 10, not 12 months, not 24 months. I am literally trying to build this for the next century. Another mental workout. If I had to start 10 locations instead of a second one, what would I do? So if you're like, man, I want to start a second location or I want to start a second business. Okay, if you had to start 10 of those bad boys, what would you do differently? Very good question to ask. Why? Because it's probably going to it's going to force you to delegate. It's going to force you to get systems. It's going to really quickly identify that capital is a constraint in trying to grow by 10 locations. And if you can figure out how to delegate and create systems and procedures and hire right people and have all these things in order for 10 locations, I promise you, you'll be much more successful with your second location. Far too many times I see people try to do their second or third location without their systems, without delegation, without procedures, without some sort of brand awareness, and they fail miserably. And the first location goes to pot because they didn't go to the gym and they didn't determine, okay, if I had to do this 10 times, what kind of business would I have to build? And so these sort of mental frameworks, if you're trying to have some sort of constraint in your business, ask yourself, if this 10x'd, what would happen? If this was just way bigger, if I had to do this way faster, if this was way smaller, or I did this way slower, so speed and quantity, so faster and slower, and then we got bigger and smaller. If you take the constraint and maximize it in all four of those different directions, you'll usually come up with some pretty good ideas of how to solve problems inside the business. All right, another mental workout. If I had to hire 10 times as many people, what actions would I take? Because for a lot of us in the home service business, hiring is the constraint to our business. And if we look at the 4L framework that we talked about at conference, we talk about liquidity, we talk about leads, we talk about labor, we talk about leadership. And for a lot of people, especially once they've crossed $500,000 in annual revenue, the biggest constraint is I can't find any more people. And I agree with you. Labor is tough in this industry. So what do? We go to the gym and we figure out how we could hire 10 times as many people as we need. Because right now you're struggling to find that second employee. I just can't figure it out. I don't know what I'm going to do. All right. What if you had to hire 20 people? You'd probably take different actions. You'd probably change your mindset. And all of a sudden you'd be like, okay, do I need to have a career fair? Do I need to get a manager to actually take care of the hiring process and training them up? What do I need to do to become the best business in town where everyone wants to come work for me? Do I need to integrate a system like pay for performance? Oh, look at that. What's the chances of that book being right there? Maybe I should do that. Pay for performance. All right. Those are the type of actions that are probably going to be required if you're going to have to get 20 employees versus the 2 that you're looking for. So instead of just trying to figure out how I just can't find 1 or 2 employees, ask yourself, if you had to hire 20 people, what would you be doing tomorrow? If you take those actions, I guarantee you will probably get those 2 employees that you really need to grow the business. All right. You might need to go get a recruiter. You might go hire someone to go find your hires. These are the type of actions that are going to allow you to break through the constraints of your business and grow it, even though it's been plateaued in the past. Another mental workout, because we're here on Saturday morning, just grinding, just in the mental gym. It's fantastic. On the other side of that wall is my gym. And they can probably hear me because there's not much insulation between this wall and the weight room. So they probably think I'm absolutely out of my mind because they can't hear me. But it's great. All right, mental workout number, 6, 7? I don't know. If you had a gun to your head, how would I grow the business 10 times faster? You're like, I'm going to grow by $100,000 this year. Okay, fantastic. If you had to grow it by $1 million. So again, we're taking speed or taking quantity. So if we're going to speed it up, if we had to grow it 10 times faster, what would you be doing? Well, I'd have to hire an ad agency so I can increase the leads in my business. So if you look at the 4L framework, liquidity, leads, labor, and leadership. If you're going to grow your business, we've already identified at conference in the past that you're going to hit these constraints. Guess what happens when you grow faster? You keep hitting these constraints faster because the flywheel of the 4L framework just keeps flying, baby. And so in doing so, we have to realize that we are going to have constraints of leads. So what are we going to have to do? Probably have to hire an ad agency or a salesperson. You're probably going to have massive liquidity crunch if you're trying to grow by 10 times. So what are you probably going to do? Have an investor, go get debt. You're going to have to figure a way to get more money. Whether you have to cajole some of your family and friends to give you money or a bank to get you a loan, you will probably have a capital constraint if you're growing by 10x. If you figure out how to solve the problems that are going to come about as you grow by 10x, there's a really good chance you'll break out of a plateau where you haven't been growing at all for the past 5 years. But change will be required for you to break out of a plateau. Change will be required if you want to be able to change your body. You will have to go to the gym. If you want to lose weight, you will have to have a calorie deficit. You have to go to the gym and pick up heavy things and run and exert energy and go and have a workout. And if you want to grow your business the same way you want to grow your arms, very good, or your chest or any body part, you will have to go exert and put it under physical exertion and stretch the muscle and tear the muscle and put it at limits that are greater than what the daily use actually needs. And so for the same reason, when it comes to the business workouts that we have here at the Cutting Edge Conference, let's go. When we come to the workout here in the morning on a Saturday, we are trying to put more exertion on the business of our brain and the business to be able to then go grow the business by 10, 15, 20% if that's your goal. So what we do is put way more weight on it. So that's what I recommend when you hit these bottlenecks inside your business is put more weight on it. Because if you can do that, you'll probably go outside of the gym and be more successful. All right, another mental workout. If I charge 10%, what would that service look like? So if you charge $100 for your service, what would it look like if you only could charge $10 for your service? This is really, really helpful because now if you can charge 10% of what you currently charge your customers and you figure out a model, how to make that work and make it valuable to your customers, you will be recession proof. You will likely be able to weather people that are trying to be price competitive and cut costs all the time. If you can figure out a value proposition that is 10% of your current price. What this is going to do, it's going to probably be a really good way to generate ideas for freebies, giveaways, things that you do on social media. Because it's like, well, I can't give away my lawn care service. I can't give away my pest control. I can't give away my irrigation cleanouts. I agree. You must make money. And we're all here to make more profit. However, if you took that idea of what you charge now, and let's say you charge $50 for a mowing service per cut. If you had to charge $5 for that mowing service, what would that service look like? You're like, well, I'm definitely not bringing a $10,000 mower. You're right. I'm definitely not going to bring a human being. You're probably right. You're not going to be able to afford it. So then what does that service start to look like if you were to have to only charge 10% of the cost? And it probably looks like you will do something that is a checkup on the property. You drive by it and you have some sort of report. It might be a drone flyover. It might be a property analysis. It might be some sort of management of the lawn, like a soil sample. These are all things you can do for far less than bringing massive mowers and a trailer and a truck and a bunch of employees. These are ways of breaking your frame and asking, how can I give away something? That's why soil samples are a good thing to give away. If you're doing pest control, spraying, lawn care, fertilization, etc. Soil samples are great because you're giving away something that is high value, but for very low cost to you. All right. So these frames will help you grow your business. All right. I think this is the last one. Now let's flip it because we just took two extremes, right? So we took price, we took quantity. All right. If I charge 10 times as much, what would that service look like? We talked about what happens if we would only charge 10%, but what happens if we had to charge 10 times as much? Which means for that $50 lawn care service, what would you have to do to charge $500 on that lawn care service? He's like, that's preposterous. No one would ever pay $500. All right. There are burgers that cost $1,500, $1,600. And people go there and have lines out to wazoo, lining up to eat $1,600 burgers. There's absolutely people that are willing to pay that premium price for a premium product. Because that same burger at McDonald's is only $2 or $3. So why in the world are they charging literally 500 times as much? They had the frame-breaking question, and they went to the gym of their work, the mental gym, to work out, and said, how can we charge 500 times as much as McDonald's to provide the exact same number of calories to our consumer? That is what you call frame-breaking workouts. And that's what we're here doing at Cutting Edge Conference. And that's what will happen if you start to ask yourself, if I charge $500 instead of $50, you say, I can't do that in my market. It's too small. There's not enough people. I agree with you. Fantastic. But it's going to break your frame to ask yourself, maybe it's not $500, but are there people willing to pay twice as much, like $100 to have white glove service? Guarantees that their property will be fixed or that a pest will go away, guarantees that something will happen on their property, like your grass will be green, and I'm going to charge you twice as much as our competition. However, I guarantee it, and I will give you your money back if it doesn't actually carry out that way. So this is also a way to be premium. Like, for example, if you come into every single property and you are literally having 5 people with a silver platter, you're knocking on the door, you're cleaning out the gutters, you're doing videos inspections, you're throwing a drone up in the air, you are literally doing everything possible. That sort of premium service can absolutely bring premium value and a premium price to the consumer. All right. Now, we are halfway through. No, we're not halfway through. We're not halfway through yet, but we are midway through the conference. All right. Now, we got to have people commenting as you hear things that you like. That helped me. Please comment in the whatchamacallit, the chat. Like, don't be one of those passive people that suck your thumb, sit on your couch, and hug your koala bear here on a Saturday morning while we're out here trying to learn in the gym. Because in the gym, we stay serious. We lift 240 pounds at the same time together, and we are very excited when people lift heavy weights. So if you are lifting heavy weights in your brain, in your business right now, I want to hear about it in the chat. The same way that in the gym, we get really excited when people lift heavy things. When they lose a bunch of weight, we put plaques on the wall. So why in the world in our business, when people become successful, they learn something, and they're like, I just got way stronger in my business because I lifted something very heavy. Why in the world can't we get a little bit excited? All right, so celebrate in the comments below. Celebrate in the chat and tell everyone what you're lifting this morning here on a Saturday, because the alternative is you're watching CNN right now or Fox News, and nobody's got time for that. Let's grow our business and focus on things we can control in the world, like making more money. All right. Next slide. Now, we've talked about these mental frames that you can break to get out of stagnated growth in your business. Now, we are going to talk about the recipe for creating ads that bring in 3 times more leads. And if you're excited to learn about how you can create advertisements and marketing that's actually going to convert, I want you to hit the like button. I never ask for likes, and it doesn't do anything for the algorithm, but it helps my ego because I can see them right there. So just smash the like button. Didn't cost you a single thing besides a like. Let's jump into it. Now, if you want to just like pause, not listen to me for the next 10 minutes, just read this book. It's called $1 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. Great guy. Love him to death. If you read the book, you'll get everything I'm about to talk about because I'm going to kind of summarize it. However, I'm going to take the what's said in this book and make it digestible and realistic and applicable to home service businesses. All right. So if you're in the home service industry, these concepts are taken from the book, and I'm going to extrapolate them for you and your business. Now, scarcity. This is how you create offers. This is how you create advertisements that are going to actually bring in results. This is when you need to take out your notebook. Whoa, this is full. I have a whole bunch of notes in here. Okay, very good. This is when you take out your notebook and you start taking notes. All right, this is what you do. Fantastic. I don't have a pen. Are you kidding me? I don't have a pen. I have a Remarkable now. I don't use this. This is very old piece of paper and notebook. I'll be honest. However, you're going to make notes, whether it be with this massive marker or it be with pen, but it's time to take notes, all right? Because we're going to go through this pretty quickly. All right, first thing you can do in your ads to actually get results is have scarcity. Now, my good friends up in Canada call this scarcity. Don't know why they do that. Don't know why at all. But I'll just say it's called scarcity. I want to make that very clear and that they are wrong. All right, secondly, what is scarcity? Scare is a fear of missing out due to a limited supply. So for example, If I said there was only one AirPods in the entire world, guess what the value of this does? It goes up. And if there's hundreds of millions of people willing to buy AirPods and all of a sudden I limit the supply, I make it a scarce resource, guess what happens to said AirPods? They become a scarce resource. They become very, very valuable. And people will line up to buy them, and people will be willing to spend more of them. And if I made an advertisement and said, there's only 10 of these, and they're all in my store, and no one else in the world has them, and once they're gone forever, all of a sudden, scarcity plays into the part that we have a feeding frenzy, and that's one way to create for your business. So there's 3 different ways you can create scarcity. Number 1 is a total business cap. So for example, I'm using this as an example. You're going to have to make this applicable to your industry. You could say, I'm only accepting X number of mowing customers at this level of service. And this would be an ongoing cap. Like, we only service 200 customers. Therefore, you need to get in the cap because we are at 191, for example. We only have 4 more spots left on the mowing route. That's your total business cap. The second thing is your growth rate cap, right? This one's used very commonly during spring rush. And that is, we're only accepting X number of mowing clients this season. This one's very, very popular for mowing because you literally do have a cap of customers you can serve without buying more trucks or more equipment or having more employees. So you can use this as a way to be able to have scarcity to say, hey, we only have 5 more spots available. We only have 2 more spots available on your route. We only have 8 more spots available that we're allowing into our service this season. Now, a third way to do this is just be super honest, and that's like, show the number of spots remaining. So instead of saying, we have 200 spots, that is the cap. Instead of doing that, you could just say, we're at 191 spots and we're stopping at 200. So you could literally just show how many people have accepted the service and then have the scarcity of there's only so many remaining. But you could also just share there's 8 more remaining, there's 5 more remaining. This is a way of creating scarcity in your business. Now, second way to be able to make these ads perform and make some more leads for you in your business is urgency. Scarcity is different than urgency, all right? Urgency is when you limit time and you have deadlines. So there's more ways of creating scarcity. I'm trying to make this as useful as possible for home services. First one is the rolling season urgency. We are accepting clients during a season with a deadline to buy. For example, for mowing, you could say, we are only accepting mowing customers up until April 1st. After that, we're done. Now, you better stick to it because if someone calls you on your bluff, every single ad you make in your local community, I joined May 1st and they didn't seem to care. So I always want you to be honest with these. And if there's actual real urgency, it's a good thing. Because guess what people are going to do if it's March 20th and you're saying April 1st is the cutoff? They're more urgency to buy due to the deadline and the limiting of time that makes them want to buy today before the deadline. Second is have promotional or pricing urgency. So use your offer, your promotion, or your pricing structure as the thing that they could miss out on. For example, we're only having you can get 10% off your mowing up until May 1st. All right. So now there's pricing, there's a bonus. You maybe do a giveaway up until a certain date, to a time, creating the urgency. A lot of times, usually a day or 2 or 3 out is as much as you want to go for these urgency offers based upon what I have seen. So for example, this week only, we are doing X. All right. If you're saying, yes, it is January 1st and we are stopping accepting customers April 1st, probably not going to be very urgent. So you want to create a little bit more urgency, and it's also a good time to be able to make sure that there's pain and demand when you have urgency involved. So the grass is growing. Now I can have urgency, because if there is no demand and the grass is not growing, people do not have any urgency to make sure their lawn is cut. So when urgency really, really takes root from what I have seen, it is within 7 days, and it is when demand and pain is being experienced by the customer, i.e. their grass is growing. I need a lawn care service. Oh, I just see this ad that within the next 7, 2, 3, 4 days, I've got to sign up in order to get this price discount. Okay. So rolling season urgency. We're only accepting customers during a specific time with a deadline, or you could actually wrap this into your promotional or pricing strategy. Now you could have bonuses, baby. Now, bonuses increase the value instead of the price. All right, so we already played with pricing in our last one in terms of creating urgency. However, You can use bonuses to increase value. For example, here's 4 different things that I've found to be really helpful. All right. And Alex mentions these in the book. Again, listen to that if you want like the more in-depth 400-page version of this. Okay. Unique name. All right. Something like brand it. So for example, if I'm doing pest control, grub control, etc., I'm going to call it the exterminator package because no one cares about grub control. Most people don't know what grubs are, but they know what the exterminator package is. It comes from your business because you've labeled it and you've branded it. The second thing I want you to do when it comes to bonuses is quantify something. Assign a price or a value to each bonus. So for example, you could say, usually this bonus that we're giving away for free is worth $199. Okay. So don't just be like, we're giving this away for free and we're giving you a sample, soil sample, and we're going to do your first lawn service for free. And you clean out your gutters for free. No, assign a value. All right. So that way they know exactly what that bonus is in terms of price. Tools and checklists. This one's fantastic. For example, if I'm a pest control business, I can give away a checklist of all the ways that they can prevent their house from having a bunch of pests invade the home. Because maybe I'm doing like spraying on their lawn and there's a bunch of bugs. And I'm like, hey, here's the checklist, the 10-point checklist for you to be able to ensure that the bugs stay gone. They don't come back. To prevent the bugs from coming back, here are the 10 things you must do. Offers value to the customer. And guess what? It doesn't cost you very much money. Because remember, when we were back in the gym, we asked ourselves, what can we do to provide value at 10% of the cost to the customer? And this is one of those things. Doing things like an inspection, doing a checklist for the customer, super valuable for them, doesn't cost you much, and it can be a bonus giveaway to add more value to your primary offer. Again, I would recommend adding scarcity and urgency to the bonus. So for example, if I want to create scarcity, only the next 10 people get the checklist. For example, if I want to add urgency, you only get the checklist if you sign up before March 1st. These are the type of things that you can do and stack bonuses with scarcity and urgency and create a killer awesome offer that people want to buy from you, okay? Guarantees, baby. Now, guarantees are essentially assurances or a promise that make people who otherwise doubt that you can deliver. So there are multiple different types of guarantees. I'm going to break it down into 2 primarily ones. Unconditional, I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I have a typo. That's what happens when you do your keynotes at 4 a.m., all right? And you're walking on a walking treadmill. I made a mistake. The bottom one down right here should say conditional. Unconditional, conditional. Unconditional, conditional. Do you want me to say it again? Unconditional, conditional. All right, we got that nailed. All right, the top one is an unconditional guarantee. And that is the strongest form of a guarantee that allows the customer to pay, try the product or service to see if they like it, and get a refund if they don't like it. So if you don't like it, boom, you can have your money back, bad boy, because I guarantee it's going to work. But if you don't like it, I'll just give you your money back. Now, the conditional, not unconditional, but the conditional guarantee is a guarantee with terms and conditions. And you incorporate the key actions someone needs to take to get the successful outcome. For example, we are going to guarantee that your grass is going to grow because we just installed sod on your property. But the conditional guarantee is that you must prove to us that you watered it every single day using this little water meter and measuring it and taking a picture every single day. That would be a conditional guarantee. So the unconditional guarantee is if this sod does not grow and you did not like your service, we will give all your money back and we'll come back and do it again. That'd be unconditional, the most powerful form of a guarantee. The vast majority of us, that's tough to give away because we lose so much money on product costs and labor. So most of the time, we will do conditional guarantees by which we have terms and conditions. So if I'm going to guarantee that this tree will grow, the condition is that I must install the irrigation in order to give the guarantee that it will grow. So if it dies, I will replace it, but I will only replace it for free if I install the irrigation, the drip irrigation or whatever on that tree. That would be a conditional guarantee. But why do you do guarantees? Is because people are inherently not going to trust someone who's looking for money. That's natural. It's just going to happen. It's an exchange of value. And if they're like, I don't know if I can trust them to install all these trees, install this sod, take away the pests and the bugs, whatever the service that I'm not sure, like this business is only 2 years old. They were significantly more expensive. There's trust there. And so if you got to kick them off the fence and get them on your side, you give them a guarantee. I guarantee that you will be happy. And if you're not, I'll give you your money back. Unconditional. I will give you your money back, is assuming that you do these following behaviors. And I know that if I watered the grass, if the customer waters the grass every day, very high likelihood that the sod is going to grow. If I install the irrigation, very high likelihood that the tree will grow. So I can give conditions to my guarantee, knowing I will probably not have to deliver or pay back that guarantee because I have conditions associated with making sure they are successful. If this is helpful, can I get a like? Just give me one. All right. Now, comment in the chat and say, let us know. Have you used urgency? Have you used scarcity? Have you used bonuses? Have you made a guarantee in your offers? And what is it? Because we have all these different services in the chat. I want to know, what have you guaranteed to customers? And do you offer guarantees on things like sod? Do you offer guarantees on seeding? Do you offer guarantees on tree installation? Do you offer guarantees that the pests will be gone and the money will be back? What sort of conditions do you tie to that, though? Because I'm not just going to give people money back for absolutely no reason. I want to make sure that it's actually valid. All right. Now, here are some examples of what guarantees looks like. I've kind of gone over these a little bit already, but let's try this. This is going to be for a pest control example. Unconditional. See, I nailed this one. See, unconditional, conditional. Nailed it. All right. Very bad spelling here. Very good spelling here. All right. Unconditional. You can try our service out. If you don't like it, we will give you your money back. No questions asked. That's unconditional. Conditional is don't pay your final bill until the bugs are gone. We will mow your grass for free until the bugs are gone. If the bugs aren't gone, credit your invoice to fertilization services. So these are different ways that you do guarantees and tie conditions to the guarantee. All right. So if you don't want to give them their money back and you want to have the condition of, hey, I'm going to take that value of that service and apply it to a different service. So for example, if you do mowing and you do tree service and like, hey, the tree's died, whatever value of the tree dying that causes, I will attribute that to mowing. So you can do this across your services inside your business as well. For example, if you're not happy with the pool installation, I will give you that much credit towards the pool service on an ongoing basis. So you can use these in different categories and different services, still nonetheless conditional because you're tying it to something other than, if you don't like it, I'll just give you all your money back. All right. Now, this is where it gets interesting, all right? This is what I want you to do, and this is how you create offers that will knock the socks off your competition, kill any sort of doubt that you're the best service in town, annihilate all the people that are all your competitors, and just crush it in life, okay? Bundle these bad boys up. Urgency, scarcity, bonuses, and guarantees. I have highlighted in purple where these are placed in this specific ad. Now, I made this ad in about 5 minutes. Could it be better? 100%. But I gave this example in an industry that I'm not even in, so that way you can know that this is the general framework you can use. For example, attention residents of Antarctica County. What am I doing right there? I am trying to make sure that they know this is for me. It's like, oh, this ad, I live in Antarctica County. This must be for me. Do you have bugs in your lawn? I do have bugs in my lawn. Guess what? You're also going to make sure that when you do these ads, and you call out something like bugs in their area, you make sure that in Antarctica County, there's like a bug breakout, okay? Don't be doing this in the middle of winter when the bugs aren't gonna be there. Same thing like with your lawn. Don't be like, is your grass overgrown? No, it's the middle of winter and there's snow on the ground. Stop running that ad, stupid. So first off, this ad is for you. Secondly, you have a problem. I can fix it. Now, whoa, what happened there? I must have done something. Whoa, we messed things up. Oh no, it paused. See, okay, so I found this out the other day. Check this out. When I do this, look at that. It's nuts. It's this new iOS Apple feature that's messing me up, man. It looks cool, but like messes up my live stream. Okay, very nice. Now, attention residents of Antarctica County. Do you have bugs in your lawn? I am in Antarctica County. I have bugs in my lawn. This week, what is that? That is urgency. Okay, I have a deadline. This week, we are giving away $300 exterminator grub control package for free, baby. The exterminator is here, and we're coming to town, to Antarctica County. This package includes your first spray application, value of $79. Remember, attribute the value to these bonuses. Plus, these are bonuses, a 30-point property pest inspection, value of $199. We're going to come to your property, we're going to inspect it, and we're going to give you a 30-point checklist and a 30-point inspection, I should say, sorry. We're going to take a look at the property. We're going to look at the roof. We're going to look in your crawl spaces. We're going to look at the lawn. We're going to look in the trees. 30-point inspection for property pest control. Plus, again, I'm layering these offers of value and these bonuses. These are what these are. The first 10 homeowners, what is that? That is scarcity. To sign up below will immediately receive the bug-free checklist to ensure your home is protected for the holiday season. Okay, so there's my scarcity because I only have 10 of them. And results are guaranteed. You don't pay till the bugs are gone. So what did I do here in this offer? What did I do here in this ad? I bundled up scarcity, urgency, bonuses, guarantees, and made a killer offer that why in the world would you say no to that? Why is a homeowner why in the world would I turn down $300 worth of free value and I don't have to pay you until the bugs are gone? Now, we all know as service providers, we can get the bugs gone. We can inspect the property, and after inspecting the property, we're going to give them the checklist. But guess else we're going to do? We're going to say, Mr. Jones, we will get all these bugs gone. And here's what the service package I recommend to keep the bugs gone for the next 12 months is. So I'm going to sign them up to a $100 per month package after that initial service. And guess what? How are you going to do that with the guarantee? The first service, I knock out the bugs. The next 12 months of service, Mr. Jones, I'm going to prevent the bugs from ever coming back again. So there's no damage to your property. And this $1,200, $999 package per month that I'm selling you is going to make sure that this never happens again where you create $5,000 worth of damage, your lawn dies, and you ever have to deal with this problem again. So I was able to give away $300 worth of value in the form of an inspection. And really the hard cost in this was the first application. So I might have given away $20 worth of labor and $20 worth of chemicals. But really what I got is $1,200 worth of value from this customer. I sold them on a $99 per month package to keep the bugs away. And I delivered on all of these things. I have urgency, this week only. I have scarcity. There's only 10 of them. I have bonus after bonus after bonus. And I guarantee that they're not going to have to pay a single penny until the bugs are gone because I'm confident that on my first service, I'll get the bugs gone and then I'll have to maintain that for the customer over the next 12 months. And that's the part I can sell. That is an offer I would feel stupid as a customer turning down. If I have bugs in my lawn and in my property and things are not looking good, if you came to me with this offer and said, I'm going to give you $300 worth of value, you will not pay me a single penny until this problem is solved. And furthermore, I'm going to give you all these other things for free, no questions asked. That's a lot of value, and that's hard to turn down if you have that problem as the customer. So now let's make this tangible, baby. All right. I started to think, how can I make an offer so good for Copilot? And if you're dropping off, don't do that because we're having Q&A come up and this is the best of the best coming up. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun. For all the 300 people that have come so far, thank you very much. I started to think, how can I make an offer so good for Copilot? Because that's my business. I would feel stupid for myself saying no to it if I was a customer. All right. So what did we do? We gave a 90-day guarantee because people don't trust that the software is going to work for them. So we said, okay, we're going to create what's called the founder guarantee, where I personally guarantee that for any reason whatsoever, after 90 days, if you're using the enterprise level software inside of Copilot, I will give you your money back. No other CRM has this. All right. Not a single other one. And for 90 days, if you don't like my hair, if you think I'm too short, if anything happens whatsoever, unconditional guarantee. I'm literally showing you like exactly what we just talked about in real life now. I'm actually making a real offer for you. If you, regardless of what you don't like about the software, me, the weather, you don't like any of those things, you will get your money back using the founder guarantee for 90 days. But that wasn't enough. No, sirree. All right. That wasn't enough. We aren't stopping at just a 90-day unconditional guarantee. That's not enough here at Copilot. So what do? Introducing the 365-day money-back guarantee, baby. Now here it is. I guarantee that your revenue or profit will increase by at least 10% within 1 year. Being very, very clear what these parameters are of using the Copilot CRM enterprise level subscription. If your tax returns show this was not accomplished, I will refund you all your first year dues. So if you take $250, that's the enterprise level subscription, multiply that by 12, that's $3,000 that I'm willing to give back to you. This is a conditional guarantee. All right. So we did unconditional 90 days. Any reason, if you don't like my hair, you can just get your money back. But for 365 days, an entire year of using Copilot, if your business doesn't grow by 10% in revenue or your profits don't increase by 10%, I will give you all your money back, because if you're not growing your business, I don't want your money. The only reason Copilot exists is to make you more money. Not a single other, I gotta sit down, getting excited. All of this Saturday morning drama, been to the gym. We've then had caffeine. No one else in the CRM world will do this. Not a single other CRM has done this or ever will. Why? Because they know their product and their software can't do what I'm talking about. They don't have enough confidence to actually give 365 days guarantees because they don't believe that they're, okay, let me just call them out. Jobber, Service Autopilot, Yardbook, Aspire, all these other companies do not offer this guarantee because they do not have the confidence in their product that it'll actually perform to this level. But that wasn't enough. 365-day guarantee. Not enough, baby. We're bundling it up, baby. We're going to give some, price lock guarantee. What else do you want? We got the 90-day guarantee, unconditional. We got the conditional 365-day guarantee at the enterprise level software. All right? 365 days, unconditional or conditional guarantee. Now we got a price lock guarantee. And you say, why are you using so much guarantees? The reason I am is because most people don't trust people that ask them for money and people like me online. So I'm going to guarantee you results, and the results that you actually matter. Here at Copilot, we don't spend money on fancy booths or a bunch of money on marketing or fancy things. I'm going to give away value on a weekend like this, and then I'm going to guarantee you results. There's not a single other CRM. I got to sit down. Getting a little bit emotional here. There's not another single CRM that will promise you your business will grow. Although they will market about your business growing and making things so streamlined and everything, I am guaranteeing the results because I'm so confident in what the service can do. Now, furthermore, anyone that joins today here on Saturday, November the 11th, Veterans Day, thank you, gentlemen, for your service. Ladies and gentlemen, last night I had the privilege of being able to pay for two vets dinner, and it was fantastic. I appreciate them. Paid for the dinner. I love them very much. I was over here what they were talking about. I felt very moved by what they were talking about. And I was a father and a son, and that was very moving. And so happy Veterans Day for everyone out there. It's weird saying happy Veterans Day. I don't know what else to say, but we appreciate your service very, very much. Now, here on November 11th, we're doing the price lock guarantee on top of the 90-day money back guarantee, on top of the 365-day money back guarantee. We're doing a price lock guarantee, which means you will never have your monthly subscription price increased at Copilot for the lifespan of your account, assuming that you don't quit on us, because we don't like quitters. So if you're going to quit on your subscription here at Copilot, guess what? You're kicked out of the cockpit. You don't get the price lock guarantee. But for the people who stay, the people who stick around, you're going to get a price lock guarantee, and I can guarantee it's in the bylaws of our company that if you sign up today, you are going to be able to have a price lock forever, which means that your main subscription monthly price, the $249 for an enterprise level, for example, will not go up as long as you're at that subscription level and you keep it, all right? It'll never go up. You have my word on that. But that wasn't enough, baby, because we like offer stacking. We provide value. And I'm going to use this as a way to just gloat in front of all these other CRMs, and I'm going to be taking away the lunch that they've been eating for the past 4 or 5 years, not creating any sort of technological advantages for us as home service industry providers. And we're going to come after them because them in their little boardrooms and raising venture capital isn't going to cut it or make our businesses any better. And if you like to have a real rant, check out copilotcrm.com. The main video at the top, which should be live because I think it went live literally 5 minutes ago. It literally breaks down the secrets of what's going on in this industry because I know all this, most of this, the CEOs and the leadership teams at these softwares, and it's a joke. And I break down exactly what's happening with private equity and why these things have gone to pot and why they're raising prices and exactly what's going on behind the curtain. So if you want to watch that video, the brand new website, it's up. But we're not done yet, baby, because that wasn't enough. 90-day guarantee, very nice, not good enough. 365-day guarantee, good, but not great. What did we do after that? The price lock guarantee that if you sign up today, your price will never go up. As promised, Pause for dramatic effect. Bonus that I have promised from day one here of the Cutting Edge Conference is that I'm going to give away a bonus now that is worth more than my house payment. My house payment, we have established, is $1,200 per month. That includes all my insurance and my taxes. Is my mortgage payment. I think I still owe $140,000 in this house, but thank goodness it's worth $450,000. All right. You're like, that's crazy. Yes, I know. We live in a weird spot. All right. As promised, I'm going to be giving away a bonus that's worth more than my house payment. It might not be relevant to everybody, but it's certainly going to be relevant for the next 60 minutes. Okay. Let's do this. For the next 60 minutes, oh, no, we need to go back now. Boom, 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 boom. And 60 minutes starts right now. Okay, for the next 60 minutes, let's put this up here on I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? No, it's too... Oh, here, 1 second. Let me see if I can make this brighter. Oh, it's all the way up. Let's see here. Okay, well, let me see here. I'm going to put this here and see if you guys can see it. It's not going to... I think the lights behind it is going to make it too much. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see it. All right, we have 59 minutes left to take advantage of this offer, all right? Now, let's see here. There's more than 250 people watching this live. That's a problem. There's 286. So some people are watching this on YouTube and Facebook instead of joining the webinar. I love you, but I don't love you that much. Okay, well, there's 280. I will go ahead and extend it for this to people that are live. That's fine. Yes, approve. Thank you. All right, there are 284 people live currently. For the next 58 minutes and 55 seconds, this following offer will apply. All right. 280 people times $1,200. We could have a problem. Okay, here we go. The next 60 minutes, valid only, this is what I had put in here, but I understand that some people had problems with registration earlier in the week because I had a cap of the 250, and so people could not register. I know there was problems. So I'm going to override what is in this slide and say everyone that is currently live, okay? I am going to override this because I got a bunch of emails saying last night I couldn't register for day one because of the cap, and I tried multiple times. I am sorry. There was a cap on the registration because we used StreamYard, and they had a 250 gap and then a 1,000 gap, and it was a problem. So I apologize. So everyone that is currently live, all 284 people that are live right now, for the next 60 minutes, for the next 57 minutes and 59 seconds are going to be able to take advantage of this offer. I'm using that little clock right there. I think you can see it. If you look really hard, yeah, you can kind of see it. Okay, cool. Okay, what is the offer? And that is the contract buyout. So in addition to the 90-day guarantee, the 365-day guarantee, the price lock guarantee, we're now having a contract buyout up to $1,500 because these, what do I call them? Fat and lazy CRMs have been trying to rake you over the coals with contracts, and I explain why on that video on my website, and it's basically, which I love making more money. I love the fact that someone wants to make a buck. But I don't have what I have a problem with is them doing it at the same time that they're not adding features, they're cutting support, they're cutting their technology, they're cutting everything, and they're making me pay more money at the exact same time that they're requiring a contract. So in order to rebel against these bad boys, I'm doing what the cell phone company's doing, that's buy people's contract out. So if you want to join Copilot, get an annual subscription, and then just send us an email, support@copilotserum.com. For the next 56 minutes and 53 seconds, we're going to honor this offer. And up to $1,500, we are going to pay for your contract to be bought out. Because these goofballs, as much as I love enterprise value, as much as I understand the fact that they're trying to raise money for their next round of funding or going public, the bottom line is that home service industry business owners are the ones paying the price for these fat and happy, lazy goofballs going to Wall Street and going to private equity to raise money, and they're using us as pawns to write a contract so they can increase the valuation. I'm okay with that, but they're cutting out support, they're cutting out their leadership and hollowing out their teams, they're putting everyone remote so they lose the culture of the company, their communities are garbage, they're censoring their Facebook groups, and we aren't going to have any of that at Copilot. So I will buy out your contract. I will buy out your contract for up to $1,500 if in the next 55 minutes and 54 seconds you sign up for Copilot. Just follow these two steps. Join Copilot with an annual subscription and then send a copy of the contract or email that shows who it is. Just send us the email. I'm not even going to force you to go cancel it. I just need you to be able to follow these 2 steps, and we will, up to $1,500 value, refund you for what the value of your contract is. Now, we're going to do some Q&A. I did have someone say from yesterday in the live stream, there's a lot of people asking about Augusta. I don't want to talk about that on Cutting Edge Conference. So if you have a question about joining Augusta, there's a special webinar. We do these once a year. So this is pretty rare. If you want to go talk about Augusta stuff, go to mikeandys.com/webinar. And literally in 1 hour, we are going to be going live and talking about joining Augusta. And we have a special offer for people that want to join Augusta. So I'm saying that so that I don't want to take the time right now to talk about Augusta and joining. I'm super excited about Augusta. I think it's the best deal ever. And I think that for $1,200 a month, the value you get is pretty phenomenal. I'm going to prove it in that webinar. And if you have questions about it, you can talk to me directly about Augusta after this on a different webinar. But you got to sign up to go to mikeandys.com/webinar. If you go there in exactly 1 hour, I'm going to be live as well as Lee. We can answer all of your questions, and I'm going to break down why you should also not join Augusta. So I'll tell you who should and who should not. And I'll be very, very honest, because some people, actually the majority of people, shouldn't join Augusta. And I make that very clear, and I will put out the pros and the cons and show you who should not join. Now, if you want to have a question now that is non-Augusta and about that, then you can call in. We're going to do a call-in show. We're going to answer questions. But again, that timer is in 54 minutes. The offer for the contract buyout is going to expire. What's not going to expire is the 90-day money-back guarantee, the 365-day money-back guarantee, the price lock guarantee for all of November 11th. If you sign up for Copilot at any subscription level, that's going to get locked in. The fourth thing, what is the fourth thing? It's the contract buyout, baby, up to $1,500 value, because I don't want you stuck in a software you don't want to be paying for. All right? So with that on our mind, we're opening up the lines. Let me go ahead and open up the call queue. So if you have questions about anything from the past few days of Cutting Edge Conference, anything to do with business, feel free to call in. Here's the number. It's 361-733-3332. If you call this, I am going to pick up the phone and we're going to talk about your question. All right. So let's go ahead and get things kicked off. I'm opening up the call queue. You can now call in 361-733-3332. If you have questions about upselling, which we talked about in day 1, if you have questions about job costing and price measures, which we talked about in day 2, if you have questions about today, creating offers that your customers cannot refuse, and they literally feel stupid saying no to. Because I honestly, this is exactly why we created the offer we just did for Copilot, is I truly believe in 12 or 24 months, Copilot will be the obvious choice to choose in your home service business. Right now, we're still developing a lot. We still got a long ways to go. But I truly believe that the people jump on right now, they'll be far above their competition when it becomes painfully obvious that we're ahead of people in 2 or 3 years. And so I really appreciate everyone that has joined so far. We have had a lot of work to what we've done this year, and we have a lot more work to do on Copilot, but I appreciate everyone that's been part of that and what we're trying to do to change the CRM world, because right now they don't care about their users enough. And my only reason for creating Copilot is to make sure that that pressure stays on them to create the features and create the software that we all as home business owners need. The call queue is completely filled. So please keep trying to call in, but I am going to take callers, and please be short with your questions. Just jump in. I might drop your call, but it's not because I'm being rude. It's already filled up the entire queue. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get the first caller on. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on Cutting Edge Conference.
So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get the first caller on.
Can't hear you. I can't hear you, bro. I can't hear you. I think you're really excited. I think it's going to be great, but I can't hear you very good.
Hello?
There you go. What's up?
I can't hear you, bro. I can't hear you. I think you're really
Hey, mute me. Put me on mute.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can also hear me behind you. So maybe mute yourself and then we can get rolling.
All right, listen, I just want to ask you a question. So I dominate service autopilot, right? I want to switch to Copilot and everything. I know you got the job costing coming out, which looks free. What about the templates? When are you going to be ready? I'm like a few $1 million company. You know, I want to make a switch, but when are you going to be ready for me?
Okay, I love it. I'm going to drop your call just so I can get more room in the thing, but I will answer it. All right, here's the thing. Like choosing a gym, There are people that come into my gym and say, well, you don't have this one piece of equipment. You don't have this one specific thing. Therefore, I will not come work out this gym and I will go travel 25 minutes to go get my one pet piece of equipment. What I would recommend doing is looking at your business and asking yourself the question, is this gym, is this software the best fit for me? Is it closest to my house? Will I use it the most? Will it actually improve my body, my physique the most because it's most convenient for me? In my opinion, if I was choosing software, I'd be looking at a few things. Number one, where's the software going? Because I want to be sticking with it for the next 10 years. I don't want to switch when my business is 2 or 3 times larger. The next thing I'd be looking at is it going to help me grow my business? Is it going to actually make me more profitable? If they can't guarantee that, like Copilot, then I wouldn't be taking them. The third thing is, where's the software going to be? Like, what's the trajectory of the leadership team and the features? I'd be looking at those things. And for that reason, I think Copilot is superior. However, if you're locked in your power use of Service Autopilot, just use it. Keep going. If there's not pain in the business, and if you're growing and you're more and more profitable, just stick with them. I want you to succeed. I want you to make more money. I don't care whether you join Copilot to do that or not. I happen to think that in 2 or 3 years, it'll be the obvious choice, but that's just my opinion. And if it's helping you by in Service Autopilot or Jobber or any of these other softwares, please keep using them. And there's actually a quiz at copilotserum.com now that you can take, and it'll tell you whether or not you should or should not join. So copilot.com/quiz, or just go to the homepage. It'll actually walk you through steps of how to determine whether or not Copilot is a good fit for you. Next caller. Wait, this is George.
Yo,
dude, you're calling in, bro.
I just want to know, how can someone say no to this? This is crazy, dude.
Okay, this is not even a planted caller. However, George is very biased because he's the head of product here at Copilot. So thank you for joining us here on Saturday morning, George, over in Linden, Washington. Anything you want to say to everyone before I block you out of this thing?
Thank you, everyone, for being on Copilot. This offer is crazy. Please take advantage of it. This is nuts.
Cool. Thanks, brother. All right. We're going to the next caller. Keep trying to call in. The call queue is completely filled. Next caller is coming, I believe, from Ohio. Next caller, go ahead.
Is this me, Mike?
You got it, bro. What's up?
Oh, hey, Mike. It's Joe Novachelski. I was down at a conference. Thank you again for what you do. This was awesome. So I got a couple questions from yesterday. The other Mike was sharing the spreadsheet, so I tried to build that spreadsheet, but I was trying to get the break-even formula for that cell because I was trying to build that own thing on my own. Should I reach out to them on that, or would you happen to have that information? And I have a part 2 real quick, too.
Yep. Tag Mike Callahan in either the Copilot CRM group or in the Lawn Care Millionaires group, and he'll probably give that to you. Second question. Go for it.
Okay. Real quick. So we are a $1 million company, and I got to get myself out of the daily operation. So I'm kind of nervous about adding another overhead position, a GM, to take over that so I can focus on growth and everything. And I'm trying to figure out the logistics. That's why I'm focusing more on the numbers to see what we can afford to pay this position. So any advice on moving and transitioning? Am I moving too quick with that? But I'm just drowning in the day-to-day operations, and I need to kind of focus on the business part of things and growth.
Perfect. Are you trying to grow the business right now to beyond $1 million?
I'm going to continue as everything goes. I'm focusing more on profit instead of the growth mode type of thing, because we're kind of higher end in the pricing in our market, and that's where I kind of like to be. And we kind of excel in customer service, communication, and all that stuff like that, where a lot of companies in our area lack. So yeah, I would probably like to go probably 2 million, probably within a couple of years.
Okay. Yeah. So 2 things. Number one, I'm going to drop you just for the sake of getting more room in the call queue. The number one thing is, if you're trying to grow, you focusing on sales and growing the business and hiring and expanding the team is the number one thing you should be doing. So any distraction from that in terms of daily operations will probably slow down or prevent growth to 2 million. So you need to do that first and foremost for the sake of growth. You're kind of speaking on both sides of your mouth by saying, I'm going to double the size of the business and I'm going to make it more profitable. Because that usually, it can happen in a longer period of time. So as long as your period of time is like 4 or 5 years to make this happen, high likelihood you can do this. What I would recommend doing when you're saying, hey, I don't have enough margin to get a general manager, is raise your prices on $1 million business. If you raise your prices by 6 or 7%, you'd literally cover the cost of that GM. So on next spring rush, everyone gets a $3, $4, $5 price increase for mowing. They get a 10% increase in all these other things. If you did all of that, it would give you the capital to do two things. One, probably give you 50 to 60 grand to go get base salary on a GM and take that off your plate in terms of overhead. Second thing, it'd probably give you more than 50 grand in your account, 60, 70 grand. Anything left over in that price increase, you're going to go spend on marketing to drive more leads so that now your time is spent on sales and getting more customers, because that's ultimately what's going to drive the growth of the business. Next caller's coming in from, I think, South Carolina. I think I know who this is. Next caller, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, it's Jim. Great job on the webinar. Thanks for all the content and the offers, the bonuses. Really helpful. Thank you, man.
You got it. What's up?
So what are your favorite features within Copilot that attract or handle incoming customers from the various like paid ads or other categories? Or are you just saying that, no, focus in on the 5 buckets of existing customers and that will outweigh what you would spend on incoming customers? And it could be ads, it could be from our website, call-ins, just any sources. How does Copilot handle a new customer specifically is my question.
Great. So I'm going to drop you again and I'll answer this. So right now we are more focused on existing customers and people in your database. The reason for that is because it doesn't cost you any money and it drives profit immediately. So when I look at Copilot, I think of it in terms of how do we get like the same way you're trying to get results for your customers and offering service, I'm trying to get results for you and your business. I'm trying to do two things: increase revenue and increase profit. That's literally why I'm tying the guarantee to that. And so the number one way that I can do that fast in your business and deliver on that is literally just taking your existing customers and making sure I give you all the tools to upsell them and increase the value per customer, because it doesn't require you to spend money on advertising. So that is the primary focus that we're focused on right now. And there's even more things that we're doing on the back end. I'm not going to talk about them, but like we are really focused on how do we take existing database and make more money from it, because it doesn't require you any input in terms of more advertising. It just requires you to use the features. This secondary step is very much like HubSpot, Go High Level, and a couple other softwares that really focus on the funnel and really how do we take cold traffic and prospects and use ads and key them into the software from that point of view, and really just integrating much better with something like Facebook or Google Ads. And you get to see the cut, like that lead get transitioned through the whole process into a paying customer. That's at least a year away, because in my opinion, the vast majority of people don't spend money at the right times. And if I'm going to make things features revolving around new leads, the problem is what I can't fix for most of the people in Copilot is their process around advertising and marketing. That's why the keynote today happened. And hopefully people are get better at that, but they'll write off my feature if they're not getting results from it, when in reality, there's a process that I don't control, which is their marketing and their branding. And so right now I'm focusing on what we can control, which is taking existing customers in your database, making them more profitable as quickly as possible. Next caller is coming, I think, from Kansas. Go ahead. You're on the show.
Hi, good morning. Quick question about for Copilot, the users. So if I have 6 employees, do they all need to have a license, and what does the cost structure look like for that?
Totally. I'm going to drop you just because the caller queue. So in terms of, so users inside of Copilot do cost $15 per month. That is for them to be able to get on the app. We do not require you to pay if you're just putting them in order to be able to like keep track of employees and et cetera. But if they're going to have a user login on the app, it does require $15 per month. Do I think you should do that? Yes, I absolutely do. The reason is because the features that are coming in down the road in terms of drone mode, which is using differential scheduling technology that will help you actually schedule, it needs to know the employees and it needs to have data on them of when they're clocking in and out and all the rest of it. So I would recommend it. It's $15 a month per user. Yes, that is an additional per employee if you want them to have the mobile app. If you just want them to be in the software so you can add things to their user profile, or maybe you're printing out schedules, fine. If you're printing out schedules, I would not use Copilot. It is not going to be the full extent of using the product if you're not having them clock in and out on every job, because like even yesterday, we have now on-site status, a live time tracker for you in the dispatch board view. So all of those features that we're really creating are most powerful when they have the software and when they have the app individually. Next caller is coming, I believe, from Oregon. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, hey, Mike, this is Max Floyd in the Portland metro area. And thank you very much for doing this. I have a quick question about I watched the job costing webinar yesterday with Mike Callahan. We're 65, maybe 75% design build,
Okay.
and the rest is maintenance.
Mhm.
And the main thing that's been keeping me from switching to Copilot has been the job costing features that we need for running 100 or 150K projects.
Yep.
It sounds to me like that is going to be released over the next week, or the beta is December 1st, I think someone in the chat said. Can you speak a little bit more about how the feature set would work for during beta, or maybe, what the roadmap is for the next 6 months as far as job costing for larger, companies that are doing larger installs
Great.
and being able to manage larger projects?
Absolutely. So job costing and price matrices is just one of the first features we are implementing that are going to really help with project-based work. In my opinion, when it comes to the green industry, the best software for large project-based work is going to be LMN. And there's several features specifically that we will integrate into Copilot next spring that will be more geared towards large project-based work. For example, Gantt graphs, where you're able to see over the course of time which part of the job needs to be done next, and it has like the bars. It's called a Gantt graph, GANDT. And I think there's 2 T's. Those are fantastic features like that. We are going to add. If you're doing projects that are $100,000, $150,000 right now, if you took the quiz on Copilot, I would tell you to wait. And so if you're doing $100,000, $150,000 projects, I would wait probably until those features are done. And if you're not comfortable switching in like February, March, when we have those, because it's like spring rush, just wait till next year. I don't think there's any problem with that. Next caller is coming in from Austin, Texas, I believe. But for everyone else that has questions like that about like, is it right for me? Just go to copilotcrm.com/quiz, and I will literally tell you if you should not join like I did there with Max. Go ahead. Next caller.
Hey, Mike, I have a little bit of a longer question. I was wanting to see how much control should customers have? I'm from Central Texas, and we have very hot and dry summers. We don't do contracts, but I was wanting to see, I guess during the summer, a lot of my customers cancel a lot, and I don't know how to go about that situation.
Do they cancel, or they switch from like weekly to bi-weekly?
Or I guess I have them in a bi-weekly schedule, but they so-called like they skip most.
Got it. And so is that causing problems with like labor in terms of like you can't give the guys enough time during the middle of the year?
Yes, because we have on the books that we have a full week, but then it turns out we only have like 70% or 80% after all the cancellations throughout the week, whenever the customers just let us know the day before. That makes it very hard to have a full day of work during the summer.
Totally. And so I think the balance you want to think about here is like obviously having contracts would help keep them on. The question is the friction of the sale less or greater than the right now you said 70 to 80% of them are staying on. And so 20 or 30% reduction, is that less or more pain than the friction added to the sales process by requiring a contract? And so if you think you can keep growing and have a contract and keep 100% of that revenue throughout that time, great. But is it going to hurt you by more than 20 or 30%? Because that's what's currently hurting you during those summer months. You could also offer a service that throughout the summer months is still valuable to the customer beyond mowing grass. So you, for example, could say, hey, during these other summer months, we're going to do X, Y, and Z on your property and still providing value. That's what we do during the winter months because we're up in the north. But I know that, for example, down in areas of the south where it gets really, really hot, you just got to figure out a way to provide value. And some of the mental workouts that we talked about earlier in the keynote will actually be really helpful for you to be, hey, during the summer, we're going to do all these other things for you. And so what you could even do is in your estimates for mowing, say, hey, during June, July, and August, these other services we also do as part of your mowing service. You might also want to package that up in a name and sell that as like either a separate service, like we call it winter services, or something else for the summer that also you just give away to your mowing customers that stay on with you. Next caller, I think you're coming from Tucson, Arizona. What's up?
Hey, Mike, thanks for the conference. Just wanted to see an opinion on marketing here. So I know, of course, when you have any franchisees sign up, you gotta have all your trucks painted, all that stuff, and vinyl up. So we've been considering doing that, and so I'm trying to decide if I should spend $7,000 doing that over the winter here, or spend that $7,000 in March and February to keep guys on, and also we are already going to keep guys on, but to help with that and also help us grow our business in spring.
Yeah, like the answer to this question, in my opinion, really comes down to your cash position. If you're really low on cash, the fastest way to increase cash is going to be getting more customers and getting jobs on the schedule and preventing a lull during the winter months. I would say if you have plenty of cash, I start to ask the question in 100 years, again, this is mental workouts. In 100 years, is it important that your trucks are painted and you change the branding? Will that lead to greater than $7,000 worth of value? In my opinion, yes. Having a great website, painting your trucks, having uniforms, that sort of branding is going to do much more good for the business in the next 100 years versus the next 3 months. And so again, these mental models of workouts in your mind start to answer these questions by saying, okay, what is the right decision for the business in the next 5 months? Probably spending money on ads. And if I don't have money in the bank, probably going to be better to do that. However, if I have a decent enough capital to get to next spring rush, does my customer acquisition cost go from $60 to $40 customer acquisition cost because I have the painted trucks and because leads start pouring in due to the fact that I have the painted trucks? So long-term, probably the brand. Short-term, probably the marketing. Next caller coming in from, I think, North Carolina. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike, how you doing today?
Fantastic. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. I just want to get your opinion on starting like a mobile detailing business, and would Copilot benefit that business?
Great question. Yeah, great question. So
mobile detailing or whatever.
Exactly. We have a whole bunch of services. To be honest, like a lot of people think it's just for lawn care and landscaping. Only about 65 to 70% of our businesses are in lawn care and landscaping. The other 35% or so are in other services. And we've been pretty diligent about the fact that the other services can and do use the product. What I would recommend doing a lot for you, let me do 2 things for you. One, I would go in your market. I think there's a hole when it comes to detailing, and that is making a cheap enough product for the commercial user. For example, I would pay a pretty penny if a mobile detailer had a packaged product that came in every Saturday and cleaned all of my trucks inside and out for Augusta Lawn Care. It would save all of my guys from doing it. They don't enjoy it. They don't make pay for performance on that. I would be happy to hand that off to someone else and do that. So from a business perspective, I would look at the B2B model instead of B2C, so business to business, and go to other home service industries and say, I will clean your 4 trucks, your 10 trucks, your 20 trucks. I think you'd make good money. You'd probably have to convince people to work on the weekends and evenings, but you could crush it. That'd be my first thing. Second thing would be, Copa absolutely would work for you, especially because you have recurring services. Right now, I think Copa is strongest when it comes to anything that you have a recurring schedule on. And then, like I said, in terms of large projects and big jobs that are one time, probably going to be much better in 5 to 6 months. And if that's a spring rush for you, I'd probably wait till next year if you're doing jobs that are 100,000 plus in revenue. Again, copilotcrm.com/quiz will actually help you whether or not you should do certain types of, whether or not you should join. Next caller, I think it's from North Carolina as well. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Hi. I wanted to ask about insurance. My father has a landscape company. Like, I run everything, but we needed to get insurance for the business since we just started it in June. But for next year, we wanted to get insurance. What would be the best way to get insurance?
Totally. So you're going to try out something like Next Insurance, something online for liability insurance, or general liability, or GL, general liability insurance. You're also going to need auto insurance, which you probably have if you have a truck at all right now rolling on the road. And you're going to make sure it's commercial insurance. So if you got in an accident, they said, are you doing it for work? And you say, yes, like they're still covered. So make sure it's commercial for auto, and then general liability. And then also if you have employees, then you got to start thinking about workers' comp insurance. Next caller is coming in from, I believe, Utah. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So the quick question I had is I'm planning on hiring in the spring side. This is my second year going into work, and I kind of want to start P4P, but I don't know. I read your book, and you kind of suggested at the beginning companies it's not the best idea. But I just kind of wanted to hear a deeper explanation on that. And also, I don't make enough for the enterprise tier yet, but is there a way to integrate it manually, P4P, into the lower tiers?
Got it. All right. Yeah. So in terms of P4P, next week we're actually coming out with a new website, and I'll have some more training and I think explaining P4P in a better light than I have in the past. In terms of using P4P when you are a smaller company. The reason I don't think you really need to use the software with 1 or 2 employees is twofold. One or 2 employees, you can usually do it in Excel. You don't have to pay P4P software. It doesn't save you enough time usually. I shouldn't say that. It doesn't save you like 10 times as much time. Like when I price any of our stuff, I try to make sure that you're going to get 10 times the value from whatever we're making you pay. I don't think with 1 employee, you're going to get 10 times the value of the $99 subscription for P4P software. I just don't, to be honest. I'd probably use Excel, and in the training, I train you how to use P4P. The book trains you how to use P4P and shows you all in math so you could do it in Excel for 1 or 2 employees. Also, the second reason why I don't think it's really necessary with 1 or 2 employees is because you have eyeballs on them almost all the time because you're usually out with them in the field. And so it's very easy to manage. Like, you are the system of management. What I would say, and why I would recommend someone that might have be willing to spend a little extra money on the software even from day one, is because you start building the business so that it can scale. Because what happens is people all of a sudden get 3, 4, 5 employees. They still haven't integrated with P4P. And all of a sudden now their employees are running roughshod. Like, they're just going they're inefficient. There's loss of profit. And then they have to change like their whole business model, like get budget hours on every visit and like make sure that everything's timed and tracked. So I'd recommend it from day one if you have a little bit of extra money and you know you're going to grow to 3 or 4 employees within the next 12 months. If you're going to stay at 1 or 2 employees, you can probably just read the book, get the training free from the website, and just run in Excel. In terms of the integration that we just finished last week with Copilot, with P4P, it allows you to basically, the guy just clock in and out on Copilot, and it will automatically clock them in and out on P4P. And then also there's a train right here. Let's go. You can probably hear that. But what it does now, the integration is when they get into their truck in the morning, they clock into Copilot. They now are going to see inside the P4P app, they're going to see all of their jobs. And as they complete them, it's going to show them how much money they're making. It's also going to show how much money they can make for the day on P4P. So they're going to get in their truck like, oh, cool, I can make $348 today. And so now it's like, now I can just see my progress towards that as I make more, get jobs done and I'm more efficient. So it's going to be really trying to get the compensation as close to the performance as possible by them being able to see how much can I make for the day and then chipping away at it throughout the day. I think there's going to be less people trying to get out of like the last 1 or 2 jobs on their route because they want to complete, like fill the bar. And so that integration is complete. We're making some refinements over the next week on it, but it's done. And so if you're in the P4P software app, just go to integrations. You can integrate with Copilot. And then that way, whenever someone goes to P4P app, they will literally see all their jobs from Copilot as they click complete on them in Copilot. They are separate. The reason for that is I want Copilot to be where they look for their jobs, their notes, all of that stuff. P4P is like everything to do with money. And so we have some really cool stuff coming in terms of achievement awards as well, which will reward them for things that aren't just P4P, like clocking in on time, not having call outs, completing their route, like having a streak of that. They'll be able to unlock like rewards, gift cards, paid time off, etc. So that's coming down the pipe too. But in terms of, yes, it is only for the enterprise level users of Copilot in order to be able to get the integration. Next caller is coming in from, I think, Pennsylvania. Next caller, go ahead. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's up? You're on. What's up?
Okay, I was calling to see what does Copilot offer for snowplow providers, and is there any features for routing for like a 2-inch trigger point, a 4-inch trigger point, or getting businesses and locations opened up by a certain time in the morning?
Great. Yeah, so we do right now have snow capabilities. We just released a video on our YouTube channel as well as in Copilot University, which you can get all that training for free, mikeandes.com/Copilot. But if you see that video, we show 3 ways to do snow dispatch. We have what we call quick dispatch. So you could potentially have 3 different templates for quick dispatch based upon triggers. You could do that. Personally, right now, if you have more than 50 contracts for a snow trigger, I think we're going to limit you and you're not going to like it as much in Copilot right now. I can guarantee you by the next winter, we will make sure there is a lot more functionality around snow. But right now, if you have more than 50 contracts of snow plowing, I would just wait until after this snow season before you jump into Copilot. That would be my recommendation. And if you're like, well, I want to take advantage of the offer for the next 26 minutes, I need you to send support at copilotcrm.com the email that says, I will join on this date after snow season, and it needs to be within those 26 minutes. So I see what you're saying there. I'll if you say that, like you're waiting for the end of snow season, I'll specifically, because like we just don't have the features yet. We're going to work on them next summer and make sure they're ready for next spring. But if you have more than 50 snow contracts, I would just wait until the end of snow season. Next caller, this will be the last one from Toledo, Ohio, I believe. You're up. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike, it's Jeremiah from Cut and Plow here in Waukesha, Ohio.
What's up, brother?
Nothing much. Hey, question for you. We're about $250,000, $350,000 company. We're trying to figure out which program to go with on Copilot.
Great question. So, so you said 250 to 350. Is that what you're at right now?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
What do you think next year's revenue is going to be?
I'm hoping we double it.
Yeah, in that case, I would go enterprise, because the thing like the texting, the deposit thresholds, where like these are just going to save you way more time, and at your size, it's going to help you. But if you're growing by double next year, that's where things like are the features in there are going to help you so much more in terms of the growth. Like the texting alone is something that I would recommend having, and just all the other features going from 250 to 500. I'm assuming you're on this like very fast growth trajectory. It's going to be worth the extra $100 a month. And if it's not, I'll give you your money back. So does it answer your question, or is there a specific feature that you were thinking about?
We were trying to go with which one was it? The Pro?
Yeah.
But that one didn't have the QuickBooks
integration. Yeah, if you go to the integration page for QuickBooks, I really don't recommend doing the integration with QuickBooks. I've seen too many problems with it in terms of when they change stuff or we change stuff and then stuff breaks, or they'll randomly do a change and like it'll duplicate a whole bunch. Unless you are like a power user of QuickBooks, you've done integrations before. Like, have you already been integrated with QuickBooks for a long time?
No, is there another company that's better to go with?
I don't recommend you integrate with QuickBooks. I just don't recommend. I don't recommend it for anyone in any other software to integrate with QuickBooks. I've seen too many problems. And what you can do if you get audited, all you do is you look at the revenue comes into QuickBooks from your software. Like Copilot would drop from Stripe a whole bunch of money. Let's say it's like 15 grand at the end of the month. You send all these invoices out. What you can do is like, well, I can't tie it into a specific invoice. There's no real reason to, because if you got audited, you can run all the reports inside of Copilot. And so I've been audited 3 times. Every single time I took the reports from that broke down my revenue, and I showed QuickBooks for all my expenses, and they could see like I reconciled the payments in QuickBooks with what was in the revenue reports. But I have seen too many people spend lots of time or get really frustrated with the QuickBooks Sync. It works. We have it. And if you've used the QuickBooks Sync in the past and you're a power user of QuickBooks, you're good to go. But I would not recommend, and I do put a warning on that page. We've spent a lot of money making it. I think it's actually a pretty good integration, but I've just seen too many people get frustrated by it. And if you're at 250, 300, 400,000 annual revenue, and you're trying to grow that much, you need to be spending time on sales, marketing, and growing your team, not on how QuickBooks just double all your invoices, all your payments. It's too frustrating. I've seen too many people throw in the towel on creating systems on their business because of it. And so I would only do it if you're like such a good user, you've done this for a long time, you understand how syncs work with QuickBooks, and I would just be very careful with it otherwise. So, all right, folks, we're going to call it there in terms of the calls. Sorry for everyone still in the caller queue. I'm going to go ahead and drop that. And that, there it goes. So the call show, we're not going to do that anymore. Confirm. Thank you. All right. Now, what's not ended, and we still have 22 minutes remaining, is the offer. Now, in case you just joined us, I'm going to go through the offer, but last thing here, there's one more thing. If you would like to talk about, because I did specifically say don't do Augusta stuff. If you want to join us, Lee, Park, and myself in literally 30 minutes, we're going to be starting this webinar, mikeandrews.com/webinar. And the initial fee for Augusta is going to be going up $2,000. This is going to be the last opportunity to join Augusta before that price increase. So highly recommend you be there if you ever considered it. And I can answer your questions live just about Augusta. I started Augusta 4 years ago, and we have one more year till we're at 5 years. I stated when I first started the franchise that at 5 years, it would become painfully obvious that being part of Augusta is an advantage that is unfair. We have an unfair advantage. And so I'm really confident that over the next year, some of the things that we're doing and kind of like using all these different avenues of technology that we're working on is finally starting to congeal. And I really do believe in a year, it'll be painfully obvious. I think right now it is, and I'm willing to talk about it. I usually don't talk about Augusta. I want to make sure that whenever I sell something, I am so overwhelmed with the value of it that I would buy it myself. So I would not do what I did today with Copilot if I did not believe that it would help everyone's business. I would not throw a guarantee that could potentially cost me $3,000 and giving people money back 365 days if I did not believe in the product. When it comes to Augusta, I would not get on here and talk about it if I didn't think it was the right thing for every single person that is in lawn care and landscaping, whether you're just getting started or you have an existing business. The value provided for $1,200 a month is incredible, both in discounts from vendors, the website being done for you, the coaching program, all of the stuff we're doing with technology in terms of having AI answer all your phones 24/7, access to command center, all of those things, fantastic value. Furthermore, that initial fee is a license. You actually have an asset on your balance sheet. We do not have a renewal fee at Augusta Lawn Care, which means that value of that license sticks on your balance sheet, which also means that if you were ever to sell it, it goes up in value. Because if 4 years ago, that price of that license was $3,000 to $5,000. Now it's going up to $22,000. So literally, you have something going up in value and does not cost a renewal fee every 5 or 10 years, which most franchises do. Also, by the way, I'm so confident in the value of what the $1,200 per month offers that if someone wanted to walk away, they could take their customers with them. They'd have to obviously leave Augusta if they wanted to get out. I'm confident that the value of the $1,200 per month for a franchise is so off the charts that's not going to happen, and you can walk away with your customers if you seem fit. And so I really believe that Augusta Nation is going to change the level of professionalism in the landscape industry. So whether you're not in landscaping or lawn care, you can still join Copilot and get a lot of benefits. But if you want to supercharge the business, Augusta is the thing that is like tapped into so many different areas of what we're working on. And I'd highly recommend considering it. We have someone that just joined that has a $1.5 million business. We have people that are brand new getting started. Whether you need the systems and procedures to scale and make it more profitable and get out of daily operations, or if you're just getting started, I highly recommend Augusta Lawn Care. My money personally is invested in starting more locations. I started 4 this past year. I will start more in the future. There's a very good chance that I will personally own hundreds of Augusta Lawn Care locations over the next decade. I believe it's a great investment. So I'm willing to talk about it. I don't usually do that on my main channel, and I'm not going to be doing it publicly. So if you want to talk about it, go to mikeandys.com/webinar. And literally in 20 minutes, I'm going to be hopping in there and answering questions and have a presentation about who should not join and who should join. Now, very last thing that I want to share. I wasn't planning to do this. I want to share something that we've been working on for a while. And I want to make sure it's actually working. It is. Yes. Very good. Okay. Let me share this with you. So we've been talking about Copilot today, but check this out. This is going to be really cool. Okay, so this is the brand new website for copilotcrm.com. Increase revenue, increase profit, guaranteed. There's no one else that's ever going to be able to match this. Not a single other CRM does this. I'd recommend you watch this video right here, and I walk through that guarantee and how we are going to do that. I also talk about the 3 secrets of the CRM world that they do not want you to know, and why a lot of them are cutting support, cutting their features, etc. So feel free to go through this. It's a brand new website. We walk through the support that you can expect at Copilot. We talk about the quiz. This is an amazing tool. So check this out. This is copilotcrm.com/quiz. And you can literally take the questions. There's 10 of them or 11 on them. And it's going to literally give you answers as to whether or not you should join Copilot and whether you should not. And believe it or not, there's 4 ways that I actually will share that. Of course, I'm not sharing my screen. Fantastic. Okay, so this is the homepage for copilotcrm.com, brand new. The video launched just this morning. Here's the video. You can watch it. It's great. Please watch this video. I think it'll be super beneficial. There's the quiz here. If you scroll down, there's the support team, the Copilot quiz. So you can go to copilotcrm.com/quiz and actually take this quiz, walking you through these 11 different questions that are going to tell you whether or not you should use Copilot. And there are 4 different answers in here that will tell you to not join Copilot yet. So please walk through that. The reason Copilot exists, to wrap all of this up, is our goal is to maintain pressure on the software industry and ensure innovation tools are created for home service businesses to be more profitable. All I want to do with Copilot is make you more money in your home service business. I've seen too many home service business owners when I'm doing turnaround shows, when I'm working with owners one-on-one, that their businesses are not run on systems. They're not profitable. They're not growing. It's frustrating. It leads to breakups in family, breakups in marriages, breakdown of their physical and mental health. And that needs to stop. And so we're going to provide the tools, whether it be through Copilot, whether it be through P4P software, whether it be through Augusta Nation. I'm going to provide the tools for small business owners in the home service industry to win and make more money and increase revenue. That's all I care about. And so if you believe in that mission, joining Copilot, I appreciate it. Joining Augusta Nation, I appreciate it. Changing your business to P4P and then telling your friends and other business owners about it, I appreciate it. All of this is to make sure that the small business owner wins. And I don't care about bankers on Wall Street. I don't care about private equity. I don't care about any of those things. And so I retain ownership. There is no outside funding in Augusta Nation. There's no outside funding in Copilot. We operate like a startup. We operate lean. We don't have fancy offices. And as it states on the website, we don't believe that kombucha bars and groupthink leads to innovation and what's best for our users. And so if you support that mission, if you believe in that, and if the guarantees I presented today in the offer are valuable to you, I highly recommend joining Copilot. It's going to be the best investment for you. And I believe in 12 to 24 months that every home service business, it will be the best option for them. We're not there yet. We have a long way to go. There's been bumps and bruises, but I believe that even on our road to becoming the best, the support that you will get will absolutely drive revenue and profits for your business. I can say it with confidence. And the reason I say it with confidence, I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is on this topic and say that in the next 12 months, you will grow your business by 10% or you'll become more profitable. I can guarantee it. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. Thank you all so very much for being part of Cutting Edge Conference. The fact that almost everyone stuck around for the entire 3 days is absolutely mind-blowing. And I appreciate all of your support. And I know that we get excited and we're fueled up and we're amped up for a weekend like this. But the fact that you all show up and give an hour and 40 minutes of your time on a Saturday morning means the world to me. I hope that you got value and some sort of return from it. And my team, myself, we're internally grateful for your support. We don't do I don't run ads for Copilot. I don't run ads for joining Augusta Nation. This is based upon the support of the community. And for that reason, I operate using that mental framework. And that is, if I was to grow Augusta and Copilot for the next 100 years, what decision-making would I be using? It's helped me tremendously because it makes me care more about our users and the decision I'm making sure that it's for the best interest of the long-term success of our users and the owners of Augusta Nation. So I appreciate all your support tremendously. I know that this was not in person, so sometimes the limited interaction with other people is not as great as an in-person conference. I would love to see you in person when we have conferences. However, I want to make this available for someone who might not be able to afford it, just getting started, having questions, and needing tools and resources and realizing that there's ways to grow your business. There's ways that if you're plateaued and you're frustrated and you want to quit, that there's ways to break out of that. And so please get connected to other entrepreneurs, talk to other people. We have a Facebook group. There's members in Copilot. There's members in Augusta. Please talk to people. Reach out to your quote unquote competition. We don't exist to, like, as much as people think otherwise, we don't exist at Copilot to squash Service Autopilot. We don't exist to squash Job or these other companies. As much as I have fun picking fun at them sometimes, that's not the reason we exist. Augusta does not exist to put other lawn care businesses out of business. We believe that by us putting pressure on the industry, everyone can win and gets better. And if you believe in that mission, please share this with other people, other entrepreneurs, even other industries. If you're not comfortable sharing with your competition, like, that's how we all win. And a rising tide floats all boats. And my whole goal in my career is to be the rising tide, that regardless of what industry you're in, regardless of whether you join Augusta, whether or not you join Copilot, I want you to win. I want you to succeed. And I am tired of seeing small businesses in the home service industry fail. I'm tired of seeing their owners be stressed out of their mind, and I'm tired of them being unprofitable. And that's my mission and my focus in trying to change that. So thank you all so very much for being here. I appreciate so much of the support. I look forward to seeing you inside of Copilot. And until then, thank you for coming to Cutting Edge Conference. We'll definitely see you again, whether it be next year, next quarter, or sometime in the future. And I appreciate all of you so very much. I will go through the comments from today because I'm obviously live. I'll go through them. And I just appreciate all of your support tremendously. And if you want to join the Augusta Nation and you have questions about that, go to mikeandes.com/webinar. And I'm going to be hopping over there in just a couple minutes. Remember, you got 12 more minutes if you want to take advantage of the contract buyout, but that 365-day guarantee, check it on the website. Lots of more details, that presentation and that video. The quiz will be super beneficial. And I can't wait to see you in the cockpit. Take care, guys, and have a great weekend. Bye.